This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
There he is, locked and loaded and ready to go. How you feeling, baby? You feeling good?
Feeling great. Oh, how are you?
Excellent. Can't complain, my man. Getting ready for a nice weekend. Plenty of sports. Let's hope that the boys can bounce back. How's the tude for the week after having to sit a week off with that loss?
Yeah, it sounds like they're excited and inspired and driven to go out there and play well tomorrow. I think that the attitude is they let one get away from them at Georgia Tech, and I think at least from a attitude perspective, they're showing all the right signs. I don't think there's any cockiness to being 24-point underdogs. I think they realize, hey, we have an opportunity to get to the college football playoff if we win our next 3 games. And if we don't win our next 3 games, then none of that is on the table. And so you got to go out there and earn it. And I certainly expect Cam Ward to be ready to play on Saturday. And I think they're going to try their best to not have everybody panicking in the fourth quarter, including themselves.
Well, let's hope so, because, man, that performance last week, that was one that I think this week they're favored by 24 points, but it's just like a concern that defense puts them at risk at any time almost.
They're not good, though. They're not good enough. You just look at some of the numbers in conference games only. Miami's defense ranks 12th in the ACC in yards allowed per play, which is the easiest metric, right, to decide is how explosive other teams are against them. So they're 12th among the 17 ACC teams, and then 14th in points allowed per game, 31.7. This is just in ACC play, mind you. They've only faced one offense that's averaging over 30 points. That's Louisville. So teams are overachieving against this defense compared to the way that they normally do against others. So, look, Lance Guidry and his guys have to step up. They've got to play better. I think, Lance talked about it this week. He reviewed the last 4 games, and they're just not doing a good job setting the edge and stopping the run. And then they're blowing coverages left and right. And I think part of it, again, is the Jerrys and the Joes, right? We've talked about this on this show many times, that the recruiting, especially the secondary, especially safety, for instance, it hasn't been good enough, and it has to get better. And so you've had some injuries. Damari Brown's been banged up all season. He was going to be a big key to them. I think Diani Hill's the latest guy who's kind of been banged up. So you have guys that shouldn't be out there that are playing, and so you're going to get exposed every now and then. And hopefully this week, having the bye week to review some things, they go out there and they play much better against Wake Forest.
What should a Canes fan fear from Wake Forest for their defense? Since your Canes defense is not good, what should a Canes fan fear from the Wake Forest offense?
Well, first of all, the coaching staff there are very good. Dave Clawson's one of the best. His team is 3-1 on the road this season. They just lost at North Carolina 31-24 last week for their first road loss of the year. But the point is they're well prepared. And North Carolina, I know people are saying, oh, Mac Brown, they're a terrible team. If you look at North Carolina the last few games, they've been red hot, playing really, really well on both sides of the ball, defense and offense. And so that was a one-score game, 31-24. So Wake Forest can score points. Hank Bachmeier is a veteran quarterback. 77th in QBR nationally, which, he's top 100, which is better than some other schools who don't have a quarterback. At least he's got a pulse, right? 14 touchdowns, 9 picks. They've got a veteran receiver in Taylor Morin, who's got over 50 catches, close to 700 yards. And then they've got a running back in Damon Claiborne, who is, I think, 81 yards shy of 1,000 yards. So he makes guys miss, forces a lot of missed tackles. So they've got enough talent on offense to score points. I think, not only does Miami's defense have to play well, but I think Miami's offense, they had an off week last week or 2 weeks ago at Georgia Tech, only 23 points. They were really bad on 3rd and 4th down, which has not been the case all season. They're number 1 in the country in 3rd down conversion percentage. So Cam Ward has to play elite. I think Wake Forest will score points. But I think if they do their job, Miami should win this game.
Does Cam still have a shot at the Heisman?
I told you all season long, right? I was on it. Travis Hunter's the guy to beat if Cam slips. And what happens?
Yep.
They slipped. So he's third now. I think Ashton Genty and Travis Hunter are ahead of him. I will say this. Colorado has a game that they could lose this weekend against Kansas. Kansas is upset two Big 12 teams that were ranked in a row the last couple of weeks. And, Colorado would be the trifecta if they're able to pull it off. I know Colorado's 4-6 or whatever, but, that coach does a really good job, Lance Leopold, just like the Wake Forest coach Dave Clawson does. He gets his team ready to play and to win. And so I think there's a chance Cam could get back in it, but he probably needs Travis Hunter to lose, and it also wouldn't hurt if Boise State lost.
Yeah, I think the thing with Colorado now is that their defense is good.
Yeah,
and that's what's changed with Colorado, and that's why I think they do survive Kansas this week, because the defense has really taken it to another level, and it's really complemented their offense, and that's why they're 8-2. I think it's because their defense has really brought a lot of balance. They just got the the number 2 recruit in the country.
Yeah.
To
Julian
go there.
Lewis.
Yeah. So obviously, he's doing something right there. But I think the defense will be enough for them to survive against Kansas. But I get what you're saying. They could surprise them like they have already a couple of times. But you know what? They took Utah serious. And Utah isn't having a great year, but
defensively they're good, yeah.
Right, but the reputation is still there, and so they took them serious. And I think I've been impressed with the way Dion's got them kids focused on what they have to do. So that'll be fun to watch. All right, so Cam obviously fallen a little behind here on the Heisman race, unfortunately. But again, that shouldn't be the target's got to be, you got to finish strong here and win these 2 games out and set yourself up for that ACC championship game if you can get in.
Yeah, and it just comes back to smart decision maker on the field. I think at times this year Cam Ward is he thinks he's playing Tecmo Bowl, right? He thinks he's out there, he can scramble around, buy all the time in the world. Look, Georgia Tech had a really good run defense. They've improved a lot. I talked about that before that game, that Georgia Tech had improved immensely. Their top 20 run defense. Miami ran for a season low 88 yards in that game. I think they only attempted 24 rushing attempts. Part of that was they were playing from behind, but part of that too was, they were trying to throw the football and hit on the big play the whole game. I think they need to come out this week and set the run, to have the run set up the pass a little bit more. I know they're trying to get Cam the Heisman Trophy and all that, but you know what? Screw around and play around when you're up 14 points, not when you're down 7. And I think that's what they've got to do here. It's kind of got to be businesslike in the first half, where they jump out to a 14 or 21 point lead, and then you can throw the ball or have a little bit more fun in the second half. But I think that's the key this week, is to get the running game going so that you run the ball effectively and set yourself up to not have to rely on Cam Ward to do it all.
Any injuries of concern?
Well, David Hale from ESPN mentioned this week on one of the ACC shows that De'Ani Hill was in a boot. De'Ani Hill is one of their cornerbacks. We've already talked about how thin they are at that position. So they're hoping Damari Brown comes back this week. Mario mentioned that a couple guys had returned to practice during the bye week. I'm not necessarily a believer. I've been skeptical all season long that when you deal with a groin injury, the way Damari Brown has, that you're gonna not be 100%. So I think the De'Ani Hill injury is interesting. We will see on Saturday how much that affects them. Like I said, Wake Forest has a pretty good offense. I would assume that might force another freshman or young player into the lineup to play a little bit more than they have.
Caneswear, don't forget, folks, we were there on Wednesday, and you could use our code BIG010. You will get 10% off anything and everything there at Caneswear. They've got a Black Friday sale going on right now. 50% off all InterMiami gear. So if you want to get anything there, I'm not sure if they sell any InterMiami chokers, but they do have jerseys and shirts and hats and flags and wristbands and all kinds of stuff. Not sure if they have any chokers, but
maybe they've got some Miami chokers. I don't know if they don't win on Saturday. That might be something they invest in.
They may have to get one. Yes. But let's not hope that,
No, I'm certainly not hoping for that. I'm just saying
that's actually happened. This would actually happen. So
right.
let's not hope that we have to add chokers for the case. We need one already for InterMiami. But in a serious note, they have Marlins stuff and everything. So, and Panthers gear and all that. So check it out there at Caneswear. What's your prediction?
I think Miami's going to win. I think they will go into the Syracuse game with a chance to make the ACC championship. But I do think you're going to be pulling your hair out in the fourth quarter. I just think defensively, this is not a good team. I think the Georgia Tech game proved it. You had a very simplistic offense to defend, and guys couldn't get the job done. So I think it's been proven now through several games that this defense isn't good enough. So I think it will be a 7 to 14 point win, which will not cover the spread. I would take Wake Forest in this game.
Well, all right, there you go. That's our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.